Hello, everyone, and happy Friday and happy March. It's time for another Achievement Chasers. How you doing today, dude?
Doing pretty good.
So,
Just ready for another weekend.
yes, I've got a busy weekend of. I got a number of streams. As I was saying right before we started, got a number of streams lined up. Going to be doing some gaming, but I'll talk about that a little later. But glad you could join me so we could talk about what we've been achievement hunting over the last month of February. So this month I got two achievements on Steam on the first and second of the month, just, because I had been playing through Subnautica again, but for the first time on Steam, as I mentioned. It's kind of like a rejuvenate, not like I ever fell off on that game, because if you've been around my channel, you know how often I talk about Subnautica. But it's nice playing through it for the first time with mods that make the game even better. So I haven't finished it yet. I'd probably say I'm about 75% of the way through that playthrough, so I'm pretty close. I just haven't gone back to finish it off. But other than that, everything I did in February was all on Xbox, as usual, because I'm trying to focus on this. It's still a lot of achievements, but kind of like this ending stretch for me. I'm trying to motivate myself to hurry up and finish my recovery so that I can start all these other new games that I've been adding to my backlog, because there's so many that I'm looking forward to playing, and I'm like, all right, I don't want to start all this new stuff because it's going to take me longer to get there. So I've been trying to focus on that, because I'm thinking right now that once I hit that point and I can start all these other games, I'm also going to do a little reward myself with maybe getting Helldivers, because that looks like a lot of fun, given that I love co-op multiplayer, as we just had a blast the other night playing my favorite multiplayer, Mass Effect 3. And someone was saying that has kind of similar vibes to it in that it's a co-op shooter. So I might do that, and I might also look into finally getting a Switch, because I'm very much looking forward to playing Metroid Dread. So giving myself a little carrot on the end of the stick to help me get across that finish line.
Yeah, but that dread ain't gonna help you with your achievement hunting.
No, it is not. Do you think that we'll ever get retro achievements for modern games that don't have achievements?
Well, if it does, it's not gonna be on Yuzu.
Yeah, that's for sure. Rest in peace. So, all right. Let's see. We got Angry Canadian saying, "Hail both." What's up, Angry Canadian? Good hanging out with you last night. Again, I had so much fun. James and Kay and Angry Canadian and Jason and I would ranked our top five not Metroid's other M, and not Metroid other M, but another M letter Mario games. That stream was a blast. I'm actually editing out a clip of it right now to post it as a video on my channel. So I'll probably get that finished up after we're done with this stream. But
Hey,
we
if you
had,
take out all the cutscenes, Other M is actually a good game.
I think no, it wasn't on Metroid. I don't think it was on the Metroid ranking stream, but we have talked about Other M on a stream before, and I think that game got a little too much more hate than it deserved.
I could defend a couple of decisions, but some of those decisions could just needed a little bit of a change to make them work better.
Yeah.
Although her cowering to Ridley after killing him 3 or 4 times already.
Yeah, Other M is great.
That still isn't forgivable.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I agree with you. The gameplay was pretty good, and what got. I'm a big Metroid fan, but one thing that really got me interested in playing it is that it's a Metroid game from Team Ninja, which was like my favorite developer at the time, because the Ninja Gaiden Black is like one of my favorite games of all time. So, but yeah. Anyways, we had a blast ranking Mario games last night. So good to see you, Canadian. And Metastep is here. Hey, what's up, Metastep? Good to see you, buddy.
I'm one of those weirdos that never really got into Sonic or Mario.
Yeah, I played a little bit of Sonic over at my friend's house because I never had a Genesis and he did. But as we were talking about last night, I've never been a big Mario fan, but I did own a couple, and I ended up with a couple of Mario games that they either got left over at my house or I borrowed and forgot to give back. So I haven't really played a lot of Mario games, but I was definitely I was a Nintendo kid, so by default, I was Mario over Sonic, even though I thought Sonic was cooler.
I'm one of those people that thinks that Donkey Kong is better than both of them.
I'm right there with you. I love the Donkey Kong games. I played that more than Mario and Sonic. So, yeah. All right. Well, I think. Oh, and Tim's talk is. Oh, I'm a little too quick on the draw there. Tim's talk. What's up, Tim's talk? Good to see you, buddy. Haven't seen you in a while. Welcome. We are about to talk about what we did for achievement hunting for February. So,
So I guess he doesn't have TED Talks, does he?
no, he didn't have TED Talks. He was Tim Talks. So, but yeah. So, other than those couple achievements that I got on Steam, I started off early in the month. We still haven't gotten back to it, but Spartacus and I started playing Outriders because I started it while it was on Game Pass a couple of years ago, and I I was really looking forward to playing it because I was a huge fan of Destiny, the first one, and it was very Destiny-like, except for being a third-person game rather than a first-person game because it's like a three-player squad-based MMO. It's not MMO, but like pseudo MMO, like Destiny.
It's
Shoot
always weird that some of these games came out with
hours.
3-player co-op, and then all these other games are like 4-player. It's like, can you guys make up your mind because it's gonna leave someone out?
Yeah, 3 is kind of an odd number, but I
It's a magic
played.
number too.
It is. But I started it. I played through like the tutorial, like the first mission. I was enjoying it, but I was like, this is going to be so much more fun with the co-op partner. So I just put it on the back burner and I didn't touch it again for years. And then it left Game Pass. And then so I kept an eye out for it to go on sale. And I bought the game with the World Slayer DLC because the World Slayer DLC by itself is like $40. I think I got the bundle with the game and the DLC for like $30. And so I was, you know, as with a lot of my games, I'll play through like this. I mean, generally what I'll do is I'll play through the single player, and if it has a multiplayer component, I'll just put it on the back burner until like someone reaches out to me or I go, hey, I'm gonna finally go and look for a boosting group or something, someone to do the multiplayer with. So I kind of did that with this. I was like, I'll just leave it on the back burner until I connect with someone to do it with. And fortunately, Outriders is cross-platform across, I think, everything that it's on. And Spartacus has it on PlayStation. He's like, hey, on one of your streams, you're talking about Outriders. You want to play it? So I was like, yeah, sure. So we connected, and he plays it on PlayStation. I play it on Xbox, and we started playing it. We played it for a good chunk of I think it was a Saturday afternoon or something, but we haven't gone back to playing it yet. So if if Spartacus, oh, look at there he is right there. I was like, I wonder if Spartacus is here. What's up, Spartacus? So we got to get back to playing some more Outriders because it is fun. I have had a good time. It's just been really busy. And just scheduling. He's a couple hours ahead of me makes it a little difficult, but I'm looking forward to getting back to playing more Outriders with Spartacus. It is 3-player. We've only got 2 people. So if there's someone out there that wants to join us for a third, let me know. But yeah, I got like 10 or 11 achievements so far. So got a good little start on the game. So that is pretty much the first big thing I played in. So I've got 7 achievements so far, with 8.5 hours. Although we did restart from the beginning because, like I said, I played the tutorial like 3 or 4. Let's see here, June of 21, so almost 3 years ago. And so when we started, I started from the beginning because I didn't remember what was going on. So that's probably I played like 4.5 hours or so. So it's kind of split, but yeah, so that was like the first big thing I played for the month.
So it seems like we have Glitch Chris in the chat.
So let's see, catch up on the
talking about Spartacus. He said he glitched every hour.
Oh, he did drop. Yeah, he it messed up and he had to drop out a couple times. I had to wait for him to spawn back in before I picked up the loot, so he didn't get screwed out of like going through a whole mission and then getting DC'd and then missing out on the loot. So. Oh, and Angry Canadians talk about Master Chief collections. Started my journey to finishing the Master Chief collection. I'm hoping I can beat it before the end of the year. If you get 100% Master Chief collection, like dude here, mad props to you because I will, like I always say, I will never take the time to get the lasso achievements.
I have all 700. To be honest, like I said, 3 ODST and Reach are not terrible when it comes to the lasso. It's really 2 and 1 that's the problem.
Yeah. Definitely 2. Man, heck, just beating 2 on Legendary without any skulls is freaking difficult compared to the rest of them.
It's okay. As long as you don't as long as you know where all the Jackal snipers are.
Yes, that too. So, what about you, dude? What did you start off the month with? Or, I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be in the order that you played them, but...
I think I'll just talk about the game I'm playing on stream that I just finished this week.
All
DMC
right.
reboot. I did talk
Okay.
about it a little bit last month, but I was still in the middle of it. Now I think I have a good grasp on it. I actually think it's I don't know if I consider it my second or third favorite DMC now, because I still think 4 is better.
Okay.
But I really like I really like the reboot. The music is great. Um, I mean, the story was more cohesive to me because it seems like the original series, it seemed to be more in metaphors and unknowns. You just kind of just went with the flow of what was going on. Um, and also never really gave a reason for Virgil always being against Dante. And this one it actually gave a reason. Virgil just wanted to take control over what Mundus was doing to the humans. He wanted to be in control of humanity.
Okay.
But meanwhile, Dante was under the impression that he just wanted to free it from his control.
Okay. So do you, because I know that's the one that's kind of like the black sheep of the DMC family that a lot of people are not fans of. Do you understand like where they're coming from?
I can understand why people don't like it, but at the very least, it wasn't trying to. It was a reboot, not like trying to change what had already came. And
Okay.
what's really cool is that this version of Dante actually feels like a combo of Dante and Nero from DMC4. Because
Okay.
in DMC4 they added Nero, a new character, and he had a move that allowed him to grab enemies and bring them to him. And in this DMC they give him a whip that allows him to pull enemies or pull himself towards other enemies.
Okay.
So it was really cool, and it allowed you to just do aerial combos that you couldn't really do as easily in the earlier games with Dante.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Arrow combos are great.
Yeah, especially whenever enemies can't actually start their attacks when they're off screen.
Oh, that's nice little. Can that be exploited to make it easier?
Oh yes.
Oh, nice. So, but I've heard that if you don't come in with any preconceived notions about it, it's a pretty good game. So you'd agree with that? That it
Yeah, I think, and also when it comes to the dialogue, I think the only time it really got bad for me is the famous succubus scene where she's just throwing insults and curse words just for no reason.
okay?
But I
So
didn't mind Dante's banter with her because he was like joking like he's taking her to the prom, and whenever you beat her, he says you're dumped. So like that part of the conversation wasn't that bad. It was just her dialogue was just so trash.
okay, and so you were able to finish off getting the completion in that one.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I did have to get max rank on all the levels in one difficulty, but all the other difficulties I just had to play through.
And what is it? What does max rank entail?
In this one it's triple S. It's there's three things. Find all the collectibles. So once you found all the collectibles one run, you don't have to look for them anymore.
Okay.
So you can just do that real quick, and then in your first playthrough. Then the second one is time, and then the third one is style. And based on how fast you go, it multiplies your style for the total score. And
Okay.
of course, the style is don't use the same combo over and over again, and don't get hit that often.
Yeah, keep your attack combos varied.
Yeah, and in this game actually made me want to use more of the weapons than other games did, because like DMC in all the other previous games, I always wanted to just use the sword for Dante. Never really cared for the other weapons, but this one actually made me feel like it actually was beneficial to use those other weapons, and
Okay.
also made it easier because you just had to hold the left trigger and right trigger to use them instead of the sword.
Gotcha. Okay.
And
So
there was a DLC for this that will be going offline in June because of the store closures.
yeah, I remember
But
you
if you
mentioning
get
that.
the Xbox One version, the DLC comes with the game.
That's right. Yeah, I remember you
So
mentioning that last month.
so, but the DLC is Virgil's downfall. It pretty much is like 6 levels of you just playing as Virgil after the story, after you've fought and defeated Virgil, and it shows that they were thinking about doing a sequel to this game and having Virgil being the full blown final villain of the next one instead of just being a hidden villain.
So okay. So I know on the last couple ones that you played, there was like those meme difficulties you had to play through. Did it have something similar? It
Oh
doesn't
yeah,
sound like it.
it had heaven or hell and hell and hell.
Okay, it did have
Um,
those.
yeah. So for I mean, to be honest, heaven and hell is pretty much just everything dies in one hit. Just run through with your guns and you're good to go. The longest part is you moving through the map and kept skipping all the cutscenes.
Okay.
And then the other difficulty is beating it with when everything else is normal, but you take one hit.
Right.
But for the main game, it wasn't too bad. It was actually the hardest part I had throughout the entire game was the boss fights, because in the main game in the final fight you fight Virgil, and there's no checkpoints throughout the entire fight, and you only get 3 hits, and then it's return to the game, or return to the start. So you had to get really good at dodging his attacks.
Okay.
And Virgil had a similar thing in his where he fought his doppelganger, and that one took me about 30 minutes to finally get.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Well,
So
most of the time it's like I'm taking too many hits. I need to restart.
gotcha. Okay.
At this point, it's like I'm not even at the final phase, and I'm already I haven't even finished the first phase, and I've already taken 2 hits. Stuff like that.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. I know what that's like. Not obviously not from that game because I haven't played DMC, but other games is like, yeah, I can already tell this one isn't going good. I'm just gonna start over, reload checkpoint.
Yep. I think I ended up dying 31 times with that boss.
Okay. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So now that's not the most recent DMC game, right?
I will be talking about the most recent one later because I'll be talking about it as what I'm going to be working on next month.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I will leave that for then. So, okay. Cool. Another what do you know off the top of your head what the ratio on that game was?
No, but I could look it up.
I'm just curious. Because I from what I've seen just glancing over some of the DMC achievement lists before, it's like they seem pretty difficult. So
it looks like a 4.22.
Okay, yeah, that's
oh wait, no, that's a star rating.
Oh, that's
hold
the rating from the gamers.
I'm not even logged into True Achievements right now. Give me a moment.
Okay, no worries. So while you're looking for that, another thing that I played a little bit, I've still got it in my quick resume, so I can go back to it here and there when I've got little bits of time to play. As I've been playing a little bit of Dead Cells, started a couple of the DLCs. Some of them, you have to go if you're looking for getting the achievements. You kind of have to almost like follow a guide because in the different like interim sections, because you basically play through like a level and then you have like a safe zone, and it usually has a couple different exits. Some of them you can't access unless you have the right abilities to get to them, but sometimes these exits lead you to different parts of the game which allow you to access like some of the DLC parts. So if you're just wandering around, you may completely miss stuff. So I was actually paying attention to like which doors I needed to follow. So I started a couple of the DLCs. I played through. I'm most of the way through the Castlevania DLC, I think. But yeah, so I've got that. I played that just a little bit. Probably played it like 2 or 3 times over the month. That got a few achievements in Dead Cells. So,
I found the ratio. It's 2.7, which is actually the lowest
2.7.
of the. It's actually the lowest of the Devil May Cry games.
Okay, yeah, that's surprisingly low for.
To be honest, it wasn't that difficult. I didn't to get those triple S rankings. I didn't restart the levels that often.
Okay.
Especially once I got all the moves.
Which one is the highest?
On just my list right now, it's DMC4.
Okay.
I don't know what DMC5 is.
Okay. Cool.
But give me one. Hold on. Let me just sort by site ratio.
I'm looking at the whole.
Devil May Cry 4 was 4.7.
Okay. And that's the one you already completed.
Yeah, that was the one before. I think the next one's going to be a bit higher because I'll talk about it later, but it has a little bit more required from it.
Okay. So, all right. But yeah. So I played a little bit of Dead Cells here and there, and then one of my buddies who I've been friends with on Xbox Live since probably like 2010, maybe earlier than that. I saw that he was playing. He recently started playing a game that I'd completed, except for I think I had like 6 or 7 achievements left in the multiplayer. And so I saw he was playing it. So I messaged him like, "Hey, if you want to work on getting these multiplayer achievements, let me know." He's like, "Yeah, let's do it." So we've been boosting a little bit of Tom Clancy's Hawks, and shoot, I should have pulled it up first. But it was funny because when I was playing it, I was like, "Hey," when I got the first achievement in multiplayer, I was like, "You know what? I wonder when the last time I got an achievement in this game was." So I did actually have one achievement in it from December of 22 because I used one of the achievements for the 12 Days of Christmas event. So that one was pretty recent. But before that, my last achievement in the game was in August of 2010. So it had basically been 13 and a half years since I'd played the game. So we've been working on, because I had already gotten all the multiplayer achievements that require like 3+ people. The everything that I had left, you could do with 2 people. And one of the things that was dumb is that I should have gotten the highest ratio achievement in the game, which is called General of the Air Force, for reaching the highest rank in multiplayer, which is just XP based. So if you just play the game, you'll get there eventually. I mean, the game is dead now, so you can't find anyone other than, if you're boosting with someone, because you're not going to find a random. But I did get that achievement back in the day, but it never unlocked for me.
Oof.
So when we started boosting, I had to reset my entire character progress back to 0. So you have to, I don't know if I mentioned it a minute ago, but you have to get to level 40, which I had already done, but it didn't give me the achievement. So I'm back up to, I'm already at like level 28 or so, but kind of like Gears of War 2, where in order to get to level 100, like when you're talking about halfway on the XP bar, that's like level like 82 or something, which is nuts. So it's not that extreme, but it's kind of like that, where like, level 20 is not halfway to level 40. Level like 32 is like halfway. So I still have got a bunch of XP to go, but it shouldn't take probably more
at least
than...
it's not as bad as RuneScape, where you get to 99, but the halfway point is 92.
Yeah. So we should be able to knock it out in probably another 2 or 3 sessions of a couple of hours. So it shouldn't be too bad. But that's the only achievement I have left. So I think I had about 8 achievements left when we started boosting. So I've gotten like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like about 6 achievements so far. So I've just got that one left. So we're actually boosting that tomorrow, because he doesn't have those achievements that require 3+ people. So he set up a boosting session on True Achievements. We got a full party. So I'm just there to help fill bodies, because the more people you have, the easier it is. So
hey, me having 3 Xboxes, 3 accounts, and 3 copies of Call of Duty 3 helped out sessions.
Yeah, he's got that where he can double box it. I don't, because I only have one
I triple
copy of it.
boxed for that one.
But I'm just there to help fill spaces. But we're going to be boosting that tomorrow afternoon to help get him and a couple other people those achievements, and then we might continue on boosting the XP, because we have been working on getting the achievements that we both need rather than just focusing on XP. I think with the exception of those achievements that you need like 3 or more people, I think he has all the multiplayer achievements now. So we got to do like 1 or 2 matches where we were just focusing on boosting our XP as much as possible in a single match, and it was flying. So I don't think it's going to take very long, and then I'll finally have the completion in Tom Clancy's Hawks after starting it in April of 2009. So this might be my longest completion of all time.
One of these days I need to do that for Resident Evil 6.
So I still have a couple other games that if I went back and completed, I could make it an even longer stretch from start time to end time. But I don't know if I'm mainly Perfect Dark Zero, because I played that only, I think I started it, meaning I got my first achievement online in like a week or 2 after I got my 360 back in 2006. But I don't know if I'm ever going to complete that game, because Perfect Agent, or no, not Perfect Agent, Dark Agent is the hardest difficulty, and it's really tough. So, but yeah.
Sheesh, you want to sell me on the game?
If anyone wants to do Perfect Dark or not perfect, the original Perfect Dark, I'll never get to completion in that one either because Perfect Dark, the N64 version ported to Xbox, is also very difficult on Dark Agent. But I was actually referring to Perfect Dark Zero, and that one is also very difficult. But it does
Wait,
have co-op, so if anyone wants to do Perfect or Dark Agent with me and help each other get through it, let me know. I'm open to trying to co-op it.
one of these days I need to get back to the rare replay. I stopped around the Blast Cores, so I finished all the 8 and 16-bit stuff. So I even finished all the snapshots. So
Yeah, I think Blast Corps was the first N64 game I ever played over at a friend's house. That's one thing that I hate about Replay is that some of the games are their own separate games with their own achievement lists, like
that's because
GoldenEye
they were
and Perfect
they were
Dark.
released for the 360.
So, but then there's some games that are only on there. It's like I only want to play the one game. I don't want to play the whole collection. But no, if you get an achievement, you have to, being a completionist, I basically have to play all of them, and I don't want to play all of them. I just want to play certain ones.
Like Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Yeah, Conquer that for a day. I would love
Because it
to
is the N64 version censored.
uncensored. Yeah, I've never played a Conquer game, and I've heard good things about it. So I would like to play that. I'd like to play Jet Force Gemini again because I 100% of that on NC4 back today. But I'm gonna do that on retro achievements.
You can do it on both.
Well,
Do
I'm
it.
not gonna start Rare Replay because of it's like 200 achievements and it's like crazy
Just
difficult.
work
So
on it slowly over time.
I got way too many other games that I'm more
Yeah,
interested
like the
in
Master Chief
playing.
Collection.
I would rather play that than Rare Replay for sure.
But trying to think. Most of those 8 and 16 bits weren't too bad, but of course there was the snapshot for beating the Turbo Tunnel and Battletoads in one life.
Oh goodness, I've never played. Well, no, I did play Battletoads on my friend's NES back in the day when I was like 4 or 5. I never played like the game more than a couple minutes, but I know how notorious that Turbo Tunnel level is.
When I finally got it, I was so happy I recorded it.
Oh, I would too. So, um, but yeah. So, what else do you got?
Um, I'll go ahead and go. I'll go ahead and go over the other game I'm still been working on for the past 3 months. I am almost finished with this monster.
Dynasty Warriors 3.
I
Yeah,
have
like the
two
3P.
more. I have 2 more characters to beat on the hard Musa mode. Then I just have to level up 3 other characters to be able to use them on hard for their one level that they need to get their 4th weapon. And then at that point, it's just done.
Yeah, I
Finally.
bet. I bet you're. Is there any way to track your time in that game? Does it show you how much you played?
Not in game, but I think the PCSX2 does, but I don't know if how accurate it is.
Gotcha. Okay. If you had to estimate how much time you've put into it and how much time you have left, what would you say?
I'd say I put in at least 100 hours.
Okay.
Got
Yeah.
at least another 10, about another 10,
Okay.
5 to 10.
Definitely one of those time sync games for
Yeah,
sure.
but that's how Dynasty Warriors games are. They're big RPG style beat 'em up games with a ton of characters.
But yeah, especially if you're having fun, you know.
Yep. Well, there's 30. There's 32 characters with a story mode, and then there's let's see now. I can't remember how many they have in the unaffiliated faction, because these are all like random characters from the story that weren't affiliated with the main 3 factions. Yeah, Lubu, Diao Chan, Dongzhuo, Wan Xiao, Zheng Jiao, um, Meng Huo, Zhu Rong, Fuji, Nuwa. Is that everyone? I'm not even looking at the list either. I'm just doing this based
Yeah,
on
off the top of your head, that's pretty
yeah.
good. All these Chinese names.
But I
I
mean,
recognize the
you gotta
name.
remember, I've been playing it since this PS2 game was new, and
Yeah.
each
Oh,
Dynasty Warriors
originally.
game is just adds new characters and changes up the gameplay a little bit and changes the maps.
What's up, Paul? Good afternoon or good evening. Is he speaking Spanish? No, he's speaking Chinese. 'Cause he's talking about Dynasty Warriors.
Yep.
But Angry Canadian is saying he got his wife hooked on Hyrule Warriors. Cool.
I can't wait until that game gets achievements.
That Dynasty or not Dynasty Warriors, Hyrule Warriors. That was a Wii game, right?
Wii U.
Wii U game.
So it'll
Okay.
be a while before it ever gets on Retro Achievements.
Yeah.
We're only finally just getting GameCube.
Yeah, I can't wait. I am so excited
Hey, they
for.
have testers going in, so it might actually be earlier than I thought it was going to be.
Oh, I sure hope so.
Might be
I
summer.
I can't wait to play through Metroid Prime again because it's been way too
Yeah.
long and have achievements. Yes.
Can't wait to play through Sunshine and Twilight Princess.
Sunshine.
Yeah, I love Sunshine.
Did you catch any of Mario ranking last night?
I did not.
Okay.
You gotta remember, it was like 1 a.m. for me. I'm asleep then.
Yeah, because you're Central Time.
Eastern.
You're Eastern, so you're even an hour ahead. Because Jason, my co-host, he's Central, so you would have been an hour ahead of him, and it was almost 4 a.m. I think when we logged off. We did start pretty late, but Sunshine did come up in Mario's ranking stream last night. But yeah, Angry Canadian is a big fan of Mario Sunshine.
So am I. Although I will never ask Craig to 100% that game. All those blue coins are just a pain in the butt.
But yeah, the other thing that once we do get the Wii or not Wii, the GameCube, or although is it both? Because I thought you said Dolphin is both.
Dolphin does both, but I think they're focusing on GameCube for now.
Okay, that's
but
what
it just means that they can work on Wii later.
Yeah, that's what I'm
without having to
looking
do too
forward to
much.
is once they get GameCube compatibility into RetroArch, because I'm very much looking forward to play Metroid Prime again. And then it dawned on me because to me, Twilight Princess is a Wii game, but because it launched on Wii, but they backported it to GameCube later on. But I never played the GameCube version.
It released a month later on GameCube. It was originally designed for GameCube.
Right, but it launched on GameCube after it launched on Wii.
Yep.
So, but I'm in my mind, Twilight Princess is a Wii game. But when I was getting all excited for GameCube stuff coming to Retro Achievements, I was like, wait a minute. There's a GameCube version of Twilight Princess. I'm definitely going to be playing that because I want an excuse to play that game again too. Because
there's also a GameCube version of Ocarina of Time for those that like that.
I still need to play the N64 version of Ocarina of Time again. So,
like I told you last time, most of those achievements are not terrible.
Yeah. So, anyways, what got us off on that tangent?
I don't know.
Because you were talking about
Hyrule
Warriors is what it was.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Warriors.
We came from, but this is the first Warriors game that I played, and it's technically the second game they ever made in that style. So apparently, from what I've heard, Dynasty Warriors 2 is extremely bare bones, but it was like the first game of its kind, so people kind of forgive it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because every character only has like 4 normal moves and 4 charge moves after each one.
So
each game each battle feels almost exactly the same. This is the one where they started adding more moves to the repertoire.
So Dynasty Warriors 3, you would say it was a huge evolution in game style from the second one?
Yes.
It seems. Okay.
And 3 and 5 were just more refinements from 3. 6 tried to change it too much, and almost nobody liked it. Even though I have the completion in it, I think it's the second worst Dynasty Warriors.
How many Dynasty Warriors games are there now?
There's now 9. There's now 9. The first one is in Japan is not even called in the same series because it was a fighting game for Soul Calibur.
Oh, so they changed genres.
Yeah.
So,
but
Static here. What's up, Static? Good afternoon.
So if you ever look at Dynasty Warriors over in Japan, this one is actually Dynasty Warriors 2.
Oh, is it kind of like a Final Fantasy where
it's not nearly as complicated because they don't consider the Dynasty Warriors 2 as a direct sequel to the fighting game.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
So that's the only reason why it's off by 1 number.
Okay.
So technically, there's only 8 games in the series.
They're just numbered up to 9.
And 6 not just changed up things, but they also removed some characters and made some other characters copies of others. So it kind of made it feel a bit more of an issue. The best thing out of 6 was the engine which they continued to use for 7 and 8.
Okay.
And then 9 they tried to do open world, and it was a very empty open world.
I remember hearing about that on a list, on like a countdown list of like games where they changed something and it didn't turn out to be so great.
Yeah. 7 was like a return to what 3 had started, but completely refined it and changed. But since 6 had completely changed everything, they just started from the ground up, and then 8 was just a refinement of what 7 had done, which is
Okay.
why I actually prefer 8 as my favorite Dynasty game.
Cool. So, and Angry Canadian says he has the GameCube version of Ocarina of Time. Is that the one that was part of the Master Quest disc, or is that something different?
Yeah, there's
'Cause-
that's the Master Quest disc. It's
Okay.
it's gonna, or I either have the Master Quest disc or the collection.
Because I know I have the Master Quest disc, and it has both versions on the same disc. You select
Yeah.
which one you want at the beginning, and the
Because there's
one is
also the
just the
collector's
original N64 version. Then or you could select the Master Quest, which has it
the
changes the
collector's
dungeons.
edition is the one you're thinking of. What only has the original Ocarina of Time, because that one has the original, the NES games and the 2 N64 games.
Mine doesn't have any NES games. It only has the Ocarina of
Yeah,
Time
there's a
N64 version
There was a
and
collector's
the
disc that came with a specific GameCube that had the 4 games on it.
I forgot about that. Okay,
And then
yeah,
with the
I don't
Game
have
Boy
that one.
player, you could play the Link to the Past through the Game Boy Advance edition. So you could
Yes.
actually play every game. You could play every Zelda game at the time on the GameCube.
Nice. Yeah, I had
Which
the
was
Game
kinda
Boy
cool.
player, which was really cool. And then I traded up for the Wii since the Wii had backwards compatibility, but I didn't think about the GameCube player. So
I still have mine.
I wonder if I kept it. I probably didn't, because when I traded in, I probably traded in for whatever bonus credit they would give me for the Game Boy player. Because what good is it going to do me when I don't have a Game Boy to
You
play
know
it,
what's
or
funny? The Game Boy
GameCube to play
player,
it
the
on?
actual part that hooks into the GameCube, isn't even that expensive. It's the disc. And what's funny is the disc is the worst part of it. Because if you use an action replay to hack your GameCube, you can use a better program that actually makes it look better on your TV.
I have not heard about that. But what was
The next game you're going to talk about?
No, it was Zelda related. I'm pretty sure. I think it was Beard of Liberty who kind of blew my mind with something one time, and it had to do with the linking your GameCube to your Game Boy Advance through that connection cable. And there was a couple games. There was only a couple games that took advantage of it, but he's like, "Yeah, you could do this."
Oh yeah, Wind Waker.
Was that what it was?
The Tingle Tuner. Are you talking about that?
That could be part of. Well, that could have been one of the things that used it. But I think he was saying that there was a
for
game.
Wind Waker.
Yeah, there was another game where you could use it as like a second screen for a map or something. Oh no, it was Splinter Cell, and you could use it as. I forget what he's telling me, but it blew my mind when he told me that, and I looked it up, and he was right, and I was like, "Dude, that's nuts! I'd never heard about that." But yeah, you could through the GameCube version of, I want to say it was Splinter Cell Double Agent, and if you had was there a Game Boy Advance version of Double Agent?
Don't know, but sometimes you could just do it without a game inside
It may not have had a corresponding game cartridge, but you could link the Game Boy Advance to the GameCube, and you could.
I'm trying to see if I have that game for the GameCube.
And it had some really cool connectivity. Options that you could do, and it was really cool. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was really cool. So that's what it was. It was something with the Game Boy Advance connecting to your game cube for Splinter Cell.
I only have 2 Tom Clancy games for GameCube right now, and that's Ghost Recon and Splinter Cell Pandora Tomorrow. So I don't know if it's one of those. I could check it out, but if it's not one of those 2, I need to go find the game.
I'm almost positive it was Splinter Cell Double Agent, because I know that the first 3 Splinter Cells, which was Splinter Cell, Pandora Tomorrow, and Chaos Theory, those were all on original Xbox. I'm pretty sure Double Agent was the first one,
and I think all 3 of those were put on a PS3 collection.
Double Agent did have an original Xbox version, but I played the 360 version. But yeah, and you're Canadian saying that Tingle Tuner, also 4 Swords Adventure, used as 2 to 4 player.
The Tingle Tuner is from Wind Waker, and the 4 Swords Adventure is its own game.
Oh, those 2 separate things. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's also Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles that also you could use your Game Boy Advance as a controller for multiplayer. Although that was the only way you could do it at the time.
That's cool.
And the one real interesting thing it did was you could read mail unique to each player after you beat each level. That's it.
that one of those things that kind
I
of
mean,
threw
yeah,
in as an afterthought.
there was some inventory management, but they could have done that a different way too.
It's probably something they're like, "Hey, I want you to shoehorn this ability into the game after the fact."
I
Like,
think
what can we
Final
do?
Fantasy just thought about it and were like, this is what we can think of.
Yeah, but still, having those like extra peripheral connection things was pretty cool back in the
Then
day.
there was also the Pac-Man versus, where the 3 Game Boy Advance players were
Or the
3
ghosts.
ghosts, and they could only see directly around themselves, but the Pac-Man player was on the TV.
Oh, that's pretty clever. It's almost like the opposite of the Wii U, where you had one person who could see everything. It's almost like the opposite, where everyone else can see
Yeah,
one
well, it's
thing.
because the Game Boy Advance players, all they have to do is look up.
Yeah,
They could cheat easily.
yeah.
But I think Miyamoto actually worked on that one.
Okay, yeah. Lots of good stuff from that guy. Ah, God forbid. It's gonna suck. We with just losing Akira Toriyama. It's
Yeah,
like he wasn't a big thing for me. I was never really into any of his franchises, but for a lot of people are gonna be, it's gonna be a sad day when we lose
I was big into
Miyamoto.
Dragon Ball, so that's what got me into anime.
Okay. Yeah, that sucks. Losing him, especially at not terribly old. So
Couldn't have lived one more year and gotten to 69.
nice. Yeah. So, um,
And with his sense of humor, I'm pretty sure you'd like that one.
yeah, I'd heard the name. Basically, the reason why I knew of the name was because I have seen a good amount of Dragon Ball Z Abridged, and that name got mentioned a lot in the opening or closing credits. But I just thought it was like a Japanese like animation studio. I didn't know it was an actual person.
He also did Dragon Quest and Chrono Trigger, the art for him.
Yeah, and I know Dragon Quest is a pretty big franchise, but I know Chrono Trigger is like one of those like.
You sure it's his son, or is it the guy who's been doing the Dragon Ball Super manga?
Oh, what Spartacus is saying? It was
Yeah,
announced that his son is taking over Dragon Ball. Okay.
because the guy who does Super right now, he was actually a fan artist that was doing his own manga,
Oh,
his own doujin of Dragon Ball, and then he ended up meeting with them, and
yeah, and you're saying it's pretty young for Japanese. Yeah, they usually live pretty long. So,
yep.
given that you are in Japan, I'd like to hear about like is it even bigger over there? Is it what's it like over there having lost Akira Toriyama being in Japan? I'd love to hear
I'm about
what
to say, you
what
asking
that's
me
like.
because I don't live in Japan.
No, I'm asking angry Canadian since he's in Japan.
You said, dude.
I did say, dude. It's like I always gotta correct myself when I'm on stream with you. I say, dude, like, no, not you, dude. The other dude,
Hey, I use it for fun too.
the royal dude, not you, dude. But yeah, one of the other things that I played just to kind of keep my achievement streak alive, because I was not getting a whole lot of achievements at the time, is I started a little quick Metroidvania. I'm not even sure how exactly it's pronounced. It's Runic. I think it's Runic. Runnyk. Just a short
That's probably
little.
Runic.
Yeah, I think you play as like it's an 8-bit like platforming 2D Metroidvania, and I think you play as like a Viking. So I think it is Runic because that's very Norse of it. But yeah, just play through that kind of to keep my streak alive because that was a quick one, and to
Thank you
help
for that, Paul.
keep what he is the royal dude. But I use that not only to keep my achievement streak alive, but to just add some more points to my Metroidvania leaderboard because I hadn't. Let's see here. Did I play anything in January? I'd have to go back and look. But I haven't been doing a whole lot of Metroidvania this year, so I was like, yeah, let's go ahead and play through that real quick. Not a terribly great game, so I definitely wouldn't recommend it. But I did play through that and get the completion. So, and my good buddy JT is here. What's up, JT? Good to see you, buddy. Angry Canadian is saying that a lot of the other artists are hit pretty hard by his death, and game devs are posting about it online too.
Yeah, I heard that the guy behind One Piece and the guy behind Naruto posted a statement as well on it. I'm pretty sure a bunch of other artists have done it as well because he was a big inspiration for a lot of those the 2000s.
Yeah,
The 90s, late 90s, early 2000s.
As for regular people, it's just as big as an impact, even for my other international friends. Yeah, lost a legend, that's for sure. Even if it wasn't my area of expertise, yeah, I feel sorry for all the fans of his.
He changed the landscape of entertainment by himself.
Yep, definitely. So, I still got two more to talk about of what I played in February. What about you? Do you still got? What do you got?
I got two more since I played one last night.
Okay. Well, what do you got next?
Well, I'll talk about a Game Boy game that I
Ooh,
played off screen.
Spyro.
Season of Ice. For
A
some
little
reason, it's
blurry, so I
not coming up.
can't
Yeah,
focus on it, but I can tell it's a Spyro
yeah.
logo.
It's a Spyro Season of Ice. It's an isometric game, about as well as you can do on a Game Boy Advance. It was okay. Just a couple of the levels were a pain in the butt because you can't really judge distance, just judge height on isometric as well. So there was a couple of levels where I just wasted 20 lives just trying to get through.
I did a little bit of a gaming roulette stream last night, and Crash came up, and so I spent basically the entire 10 minutes trying to get through one level because with the
And
fixed
cursing it
camera.
because I remember I was there.
Oh yeah, you were there watching me last night. But yeah, fixed camera is not great for platforming, 3D platforming. So I kept missing these jumps, but I did beat the level just in time. So I know what you're talking about when you're talking about
Yeah.
difficulty in platforming.
But I mean, it's pretty much Spyro in an isometric 2D game. It's it's decent for a Game Boy Advance game. It's just that, like I said, it's a little hard to judge the height on some of those things, and it felt like I was dying more to that than anything else.
Yeah, with the geometry
It's
rather
just more
than
frustrating than anything else.
yeah. So I just pulled up your retro achievements, and first thing I see is Dynasty Warriors. You have 197 of 213. Geez, that's a lot of
Yeah.
achievements in that game. Were you? Because I see a couple other Dynasty Warriors and Donkey Kong. Were you just playing Spyro on the Game Boy, or were you doing it through retro achievements as well?
I was doing it through retro achievements. It just you just have to go to more.
Okay,
I was playing some random games with my brother over the weekend.
gotcha. Okay.
Last weekend because it was my birthday and he came by.
Oh, yep. There's Spyro Season Ice, 100%. Nice.
But we tried playing since it was just easier for me to just play it on my PC, we tried playing them on my PC, but found out that those two Empires games aren't really friendly with 2-player. So we ended up playing 5 regular.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Because given that I don't know everything I know about Dynasty Warriors is basically what I've learned from you.
The Empire's expansions, they're more like their own games. I mean, whenever you do the battles, it's the same combat that you get from other Dynasty Warriors, but in between battles, it's like Civilization Revolution.
Okay.
Where your armies are in specific cities or districts, and you just have to choose different options that like increase how many troops an officer has, maybe hire another officer, get some items, or do something against your enemy that will cause whenever you decide to invade their district, they have some negatives on their army, stuff like that.
Okay. And
so it kind of brings in the other series that's based on the same time period, which has been around since the original Nintendo Romance of Three Kingdoms.
Okay.
And
yeah, I've heard of that.
it try to combines the two play styles together.
Okay. Where I was going with that is that do the Dynasty Warriors games, are they just single player, or are they versus or co-op, or
most of them are 2-player co-op where you can where you both choose your own character and then you just mow through the battlefield on your own in 2 screens. Of course, if you play them on original hardware, those PS2 versions, they really struggle to keep up with 2 players
because it's trying to render so much stuff at the same time.
So many enemies.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that's kind of like when you were playing GoldenEye on N64 with 4 people. That thing would slow to a chug.
Yeah, so for those old Dynasty Warriors games, it's like, oh no, 20 enemies on the screen. I have to start disappearing a couple so that it doesn't chug the console.
Yeah,
but nowadays it's like hundreds of enemies on screen.
Glad I can catch this conversation. Glad you're here. I'm glad you like listening to us talk about achievements. Yeah, with the power we've got now, you can put a lot more enemies on screen. So, okay.
Oh, Angry
Oh,
Canadian. If you're going to collect some retro games, you can go look in the Melee Games Discord. I posted what I picked up today.
oh yeah, he posted his because you usually get a haul every other week. It
Yeah,
seems.
once a pay period.
Okay. Yeah, I saw you posted what you picked up today. So yeah, Canadian. If you pick up some stuff, you got a post pick of what you picked up as well. So I remember he did mention that last night. I remember him saying that he was going to do that. So okay. So the next thing that, unless there's anything else that you wanted to touch on Spyro.
No, like I said, it's just a Spyro game on the Game Boy Advance in an isometric view.
Okay.
If you like Spyro, it's not a bad game to play.
Nothing related to Spyro, but I mentioned it probably not on our stream, but on other streams, on like the Tony Hawk games. I played Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 on N64, then I played Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 on GBA, and then I played Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 on GameCube. But I later down the line, when the 1+2 remake came out, I then played Tony Hawk 2 in full 3D, and it was like a perfect representation of what I played in an isometric view on the Game Boy
Well,
Advance.
it was technically the
way back.
reverse.
What do
They
you
originally developed the maps in 3D, but then they pushed it into isometric.
Right. I just never played them in the non-isometric view until the 1+2. So I finally played it. I'm like, these are exactly the maps I played, but not in isometric view. So kind of a similar thing.
Hey, you can always go for those Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 achievements. I'm pretty sure they're on retro achievements.
I might do that because I did really like the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 Game Boy Advance game.
Actually,
that's and if
they only have underground.
They only have underground. Ah, bummer. I was gonna say if they have Tony Hawk 3 when they bring GameCube achievements out, that was my favorite Tony Hawk. I will.
I know they
do
have
that.
1 through 3 on. I think they have it on N64 and PlayStation.
Because I know Tony Hawk 1 was on N64 because I own it. I don't know if Tony Hawk 2 was on N64. I think it was.
Yes, on retro achievements, all 3 of them are on N64. They're supported.
I didn't even know Tony Hawk 3 came out on N64. I thought it was just 1 and 2.
It was 1, 2, and 3. I have all 3 on physical as well.
Oh, I learned something new today.
And they have all 4 of them on PS1.
Okay. If I'm hoping
because for some reason 4 was released on PlayStation 1.
Wow. So I'm hoping that Tony Hawk 3 and maybe 4, because I never played 4, come to RetroArch, and I'll definitely play those again. But if not,
to be honest, they might be. Let me check on PS2.
I know they're on PlayStation 2, so I'll probably play them there if they don't.
They have 3 for Project 8, Underground 2, and American
Project
Wasteland.
8 on PS2?
Yeah.
Huh. Because I have that on 360. I never finished it because it's really hard.
Yeah, so just to give you a heads up, they do actually have all of it seems like they have all the Tony Hawks on PS2 supported already.
Cool. So yeah, if they don't come to GameCube, the ones that were on GameCube, of course, then I'll probably play them through like PS2. But yeah, the Tony Hawk cartridges were all different colors. The Tony Hawk 1 was blue. I remember that because I've got that one. I don't know what color the other ones were because I never, like I said, I only played 2 on Game Boy Advance, and that was just standard Game Boy Advance color cartridge.
I'm trying to remember what color the 3 was. If I wanted to get up, I could go look at it, but
and then 3 I played on a disc, so I don't know what the cartridge was, but yeah.
They are all different. They all are not gray, so they're all different colors. I know that.
I always thought it was cool on N64 when they had different color cartridges because I remember Turok 2's cartridge was black. Obviously,
Rayman 2 was green.
I never saw that one.
There's a couple that are red.
Yeah, there was a red one. I forget what it was, but then
it was some dirt bike game that was red.
There was the gold ones for Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask.
Yep.
I have both of those. But yeah, the different color cartridge was always really cool. So, I think he's saying that 3 was either yellow, black, or red. Oh, no, that's what the different colors were. I never saw a yellow one, but I do know there was gold.
You know what, Angry Canadian? I'll actually, after the show tonight, I'll go ahead and grab them and take a picture of them.
Nice.
And post them in the Melee Games Discord.
Cool. Yeah, Rayman 2 was great. Yeah, I never played a Rayman game, but I always thought it looked like a fun.
I've played like the first couple levels of the PS1 game. And of course, that's the hardest one, apparently. Oh wait, I have played Origin. No, wait, I played Legends on the Vita.
Okay.
Sadly, it's almost impossible to get the rest of the trophies.
Is that because I've heard on a list of like games that are like nearly impossible to complete? One of the Rayman games was on there because of like your dailies barely count for anything, and you need to do a daily for like 2,000 days in order to get it, and it hasn't even
Yeah,
been out long enough or
and
something like that.
it also doesn't help that there's a trophy for getting like the top 10% of the players for that daily, and now that there's so few people playing, and it's the only ones that are playing are like the ones that are gods at it. You're never gonna
Oh,
get to that 10%.
it's just like in Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter because there's 3 achievements for getting
Or
to the
Quake 4.
top getting number 1 in the world on 3 different leaderboards. There's an achievement for each one of those.
Yeah, but that's like a week or a month type thing, so it's not that bad,
I mean,
isn't it?
all these achievements are like ratios of like 30.
Yeah, well, in Quake 4, there's an achievement for getting the top to be number 1 on the leaderboard of all time.
Yeah, that's what these are. You have to get number 1 in the world on 3 separate leaderboards.
Are you sure I'm pretty sure that one was just the weekly leaderboard.
No, for Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter? No.
I know there was one for just the weekly leaderboard.
There might yeah, I that might have been a different Ghost Recon, but on Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter, there are 3 achievements, one for each leaderboard for getting number 1 in the world, and that game was almost a 360 launch title. And so the more time goes by, the more time it would take to even get that one. So they're like ratios of like 28, 29, and 30. It's
I'm looking it
ridiculous.
up right now.
Yeah. That I'm glad I haven't seen any other games do that since. I'm hoping that they got told like, hey, don't do that because achievements like that should be illegal. While you're looking that up, I will go into the main thing that I played.
I just looked
Oh,
at
you
yeah,
found
this
it?
one is I found it. This is the update. It's been nearly 10 years now since the reset. The world went to shit in 2020 and so did the boards. According to the most recent winner, it took 32.23 sec. I don't know what that's for. To go from the lowest 25 to number 1, and the number 2 position is only halfway there at this point.
When was the last time?
It took Mag Thrower about 6 months of 3 consoles running daily to get to number 1 from scratch.
Yeah, and that's just for one of them. There's 3.
Yeah.
When was the last time
That's
someone
That's the universal leaderboard.
Universal? When was the last time someone unlocked that achievement?
According to True Achievements, January this year.
Really? What was the one before that?
That's the only one on the recent recent winners.
Yeah, because probably no one else has gotten that achievement in like years. But yeah, that one's nuts. And yeah, a leaderboard based achievements should not be allowed.
I don't mind it if it resets daily or weekly.
Yeah,
It's
that's
not so bad because then
too
you can
bad.
just grind it out.
But yeah, when they reset the leaderboard once and then they haven't done it since. So if you didn't get on it right when that reset happened, you might have been able to get it. But other than that, no, good luck.
Quake 4 never did it.
Yeah, that game's been around a long time
And
too.
Quake 4, I think, had a guy who started messing with the people who were trying to get the achievement and kept on raising it even higher.
Oh, what a douche!
Yep. And you need 3 people to do that one.
Oh,
to even start a game.
So that's another game, Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter. I will never get 100% in because of those achievements. Anyways, the main thing I played in February was with all the hubbubaloo or all the shenanigans going on with the release of the terrible Suicide Squad game. It inspired me to go back and play an excellent Batman game because I hadn't played it since it was new. That was Arkham City. Because I played Arkham Asylum. I played it when it came out, and then I played it twice in like 2021, so not that long ago. But I hadn't played Arkham City since it was new, so and it's been in my backlog. So I was like, this has inspired me to go play a good Batman game. So I played through Arkham City again, the Return to Arkham City version. I did not get 100%, but I did complete the campaign and all the collectibles. I did all the Riddler trophies. The only thing I have left that's story based is basically beat New Game Plus because I didn't even start New Game Plus. I just did everything in the first playthrough, and I did the DLC as well, Harley's Revenge. And I haven't I because I'm not terribly good at the combat challenges. Um, I like the predator challenges because I like sneaky. I like being stealthy. I like stealth games. I'm uh I'm I'm good at the combat, but I've never been like amazing at it. So I didn't really feel like going through the combat challenges. So I barely even touched the challenges portion of the game. But I did almost, with the exception of basically beating New Game Plus, I got pretty much all of the campaign achievements and the DLC achievements. So that was the main thing I did in February. And still a great, excellent game. If you haven't played it, I definitely recommend it. It's probably my favorite in the Arkham games. I love all four of the Arkham games. That one's probably my favorite. However, I don't know if it was a something having to do with the Return to Arkham remaster or whether it was like poorly coded or what. But there was so many times where it seemed like the textures wouldn't load. I don't know if it was that they wouldn't load or they just weren't in the game or something because it looked like it was supposed to render and it just didn't. I'd see textures all the time that were super blurry. It's like I've seen things that look better than this on N64. What is going on? So that was really annoying. And
Isn't that a staple of the Unreal Engine during that time?
yeah, it
The
was on Unreal
textures coming
Engine.
in slow.
At the time, yeah, I don't know if it was Unreal, but I do remember seeing that a lot on N64.
I was talking about
Not
the 360
N64.
era.
Yeah, not N64. On the 360 era, because I remember, yeah, Arkham. I remember it a lot in Mass Effect 1. There was a ton of texture pop in.
I know it happened a lot in the Gears games, but whenever the textures were in, they look good.
Yeah. So that very well could have been a major thing back then. You would think they would have gotten that figured out by now, given that this remaster was released, like 3 or 4 years ago on Xbox One and PS4. But yeah, that kept annoying me and taking me out of it when I'd see these wall textures or, whatever, and it looks like a muddled mess. And it's like, I've seen textures better than this on N64. What is going on? But other than that, still a great game. And of course, I'm using the best skin in the game, as always, the Batman Beyond skin, because it looks awesome.
I still need to play Arkham City. The only one I've played is Asylum.
Okay.
But I played it twice. No, wait, I have played Blackgate on Vita.
Okay. I have that one. That's in my backlog, given that it is a Metroidvania, but I have not played it yet.
It's good, but the only thing I found annoying was that you did have to play through it 3 times.
Oh, okay.
But it's because you have a choice of which of the villains to defeat at specific points in the game, and I think the ending changes based on which one you defeat last or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, I did watch James stream a decent amount of it back in like December, and that was fun to watch because he kept running into all these different weird glitches, and it almost seemed like it was part of the game, but nope, it was just a weird glitch. And but I
played it on its original hardware. So
you put it on Vita, yeah, because he was playing it on Steam. I have it on Xbox 360, the arcade version. The annoying thing is that it's not backwards compatible, so I do have to play it on my actual 360. I can't play it on my Series X, but I will be playing that.
That's why I still have my 360 hooked up.
Yeah, exactly. It's hooked. Mine's hooked up too. I just rarely ever turn it on because I've got so many games to play on Series that it's like I don't want to boot up my 360.
And nowadays I play my 360 more than I play my PS5. Well, if it wasn't for Warframe, because I still log in daily to start a build of something.
Oh, on the PlayStation version.
And it's because I'm going to eventually combine those accounts.
That's right. I remember you mentioning that last month. But yeah, Arkham City is a fantastic game. I definitely look forward to hearing what you have to say about it when you play it. So, you got one more thing to mention?
Yep, and it's a game I started playing on stream yesterday since I finished up DMC Reboot.
Okay.
And it is Donkey Kong Country 2.
I'm sorry, I saw the notification pop up when you started streaming it, but
yep. And I've gotten up to where Craig is already, but I'm going to be passing him tomorrow.
Now, have you? Yeah, I'm sure you played it back in the day, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
It is my favorite platformer on the Super Nintendo.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So, I played I haven't played them since like the NES days, but I have played all the Donkey Kong countries. But I'm looking forward to playing them again through retro
Yeah,
achievements because it'll
and this is
almost be like playing
actually
it new because it's been so long since I played them.
yeah. The thing is, though, I have played through this one quite a few times, even recently. But this is the first time I'm playing it on hard mode. There is
Hard
a
mode.
yeah, because you can if you go into the cheats, you can type in BA right
Oh,
um
that's right. They did have
A
cheats.
L A left AX, and it takes out all of the DK barrels.
Oh, so it's basically you have to beat the whole level in
Yeah.
one go.
Well, no, the checkpoint barrel is still there.
Oh, okay.
What happens is that
You can't.
any
If someone dies, you don't get them back.
yeah, you either have to go in, but you do get them back if you start the level over,
Right.
or you start from the checkpoint,
Okay.
or you come out of a bonus room.
Okay.
So there's been a couple of times where during last night's playthrough where I just die immediately after getting the checkpoint barrel
Oh, just to get
because
your.
it's like I knew I needed the both of them there to get the next bonus room.
That makes sense.
But I still ended up last night with 70 lives. So
Nice.
but I was
So
also doing all of the swanky quizzes because that's part of the 102%.
it's been so long since I played because I never owned a physical copy of DKC 1 and 2. I borrowed them and I have played them both pretty extensively, but I never owned them. The only one I actually owned was DKC 3, so that's one I played the most and I remember the best. How many worlds are there in 2?
Well, you have Gangplank Galleon, the fireplace, the marsh, then the amusement park. Amusement park is where I made Craig 100% everything.
That's where you trolling with your
Yeah.
with your
Then you have the
donut.
ghost area. Then you have the keep, and technically I don't count the last world with the boss because there's only one level in it, and then you have Lost World, so 7 pretty much.
Okay. So which world are you in right now?
Tomorrow night I will be starting the game. I'll be starting that night fighting the boss of the amusement park. So the B, King Zinger.
Okay, I do remember him. That's the boss of which world was that?
4.
The fourth one. Okay, so you're a little over halfway then.
Yep.
Okay.
Actually, I am over halfway because it's because I'm going halfway. I'm going into the Lost World every time I can. So
Okay.
I've already beaten 3 of the actually 4 of the levels in there.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, you're definitely past.
No, wait, 3 of the levels because the first world doesn't have one.
Decent additional percentage past halfway. Gotcha.
Yep.
So
according to the save screen, I'm at 59%.
okay. So the playing the hard mode, is there a retro achievement for that, or are you just doing that to make it harder?
There is a retro achievement added to it.
Okay.
I mean, if you look at my account, you'll see that I've actually already mastered the game. It's just that I'm working on the
That's right. They added more achievements after you mastered it, huh?
Yeah. And I just don't like seeing that 50% on the list.
It's like you've mastered it.
I have the badge and the thing there, but it's like, does it really count if there's new achievements that I don't have now?
Yeah, the thing about that though, since community driven, people can just keep adding achievements to it.
Yeah.
So who's to say that no, we're done, we're not adding anymore. This completion is forever.
I mean, to be honest, it depends on the game. I think some games they've already got enough as it is. Like Castlevania Symphony of the Night, it has 106 achievements. I think we're good.
Yeah.
Still need to get 3 of those.
Yeah, I plan on playing that again as well. I don't plan to complete it, but I will be playing that again at some point.
To be perfectly honest, only 2 of them are actually difficult. And the 2 of the ones I don't have yet.
Okay.
What's sad is I actually ended up almost getting one of them. I might end up doing it on stream though, because it actually wouldn't be a bad stream achievement, but I'd only be able to do it once per stream, one attempt per stream, because you have to do the entire game in one sitting.
Oh, okay.
Because you have to beat every boss in the game as Richter without using any save points.
Oh, I was just looking through the achievements on it not that long ago, and yeah, that's right.
To be honest, if you know what you're doing, you know where all the life ups are, so you know where you can heal.
Okay, because that'll increase your health and it'll refill it at the
Well, it
same
doesn't
time.
increase your health; it just refills it for Richter.
Oh,
But after you beat each boss, you also get a health up as well.
okay.
So it's not as bad as you would think it would. But the sad thing is, I got to the last boss before I had to go back and beat the final boss, and I ended up dying on him.
That sucks.
There's a reason why I haven't gone back and tried it again, and it's because of that.
Yeah, it's like you need to practice on him first before you go make a full run on.
Yeah, because most of the bosses are actually easy with Richter, but he's a bit different.
Yeah, it's been so long since I
That
played
one's
that
definitely
one.
designed for Alucard in mind,
Yeah.
and that's the bonus boss, the one that's big. That's the big golden statue.
Yeah, I remember bits and pieces of that game because it's been, I think I played it in like 2016, I think, and that's the only time I've ever played Symphony of the Night. So I
Gotcha.
need to play it again. So, all right, and so the last
Man,
thing,
too bad. Too bad the Metroidvanias on retro achievements doesn't count towards your leaderboard.
yeah, if it did, I probably would have started it already.
You probably would have done Super Metroid first, actually.
Yes, that would be the first thing. I actually booted it up yesterday because I was messing around with some stuff on RetroArch, and I booted it up. So if you go to my profile on Retro Achievements, you'll see the first thing is Super Metroid. I haven't played it. I didn't even go past the start screen, but that's probably going to be the next retro game I play because it's been way too long since I played that. And
The hardest achievement in that is actually the speedrun achievement after you beat the Mother Brain.
That's what DJ was telling me a couple weeks ago. But yeah, that'll probably be the next retro achievement game that I play because it's been way too long since I played that. And as I always say, like I like sci-fi more than fantasy, so Metroid is in my book is always over Castlevania. Not that I have anything against Castlevania, just I love Metroid better. But yeah, and Angry Canadian was playing Symphony of the Night not too long ago, and he just beat the game. So did you beat it or did you beat it? So I'm sure he probably beat it.
I prefer Eat It.
Oh, I love Eat It. Weird Al's covers are so great.
He still does great stuff. I'm waiting for him to actually release some new stuff, though.
Yeah.
Guess nothing's good enough to parody now.
Yeah, for reals. And what's up, Insidious Bliss? Good evening, buddy. Good to see you. So I'm just about to finish up with the last thing I've been playing in February. After I finished doing what I was going to do in Arkham City, the next thing I started is something that I've been looking forward to playing for a while. It's just been on my back burner. Other than I played it off and on because it's been one of those games where I've gotten a couple achievements here and there for various contests. So like I started it like 3 years ago, got 1 or 2 achievements in it. Then I played it again like a year later for another contest, got another achievement or 2. Then like another 6 months later, got achievement or 2. So very spread out. So I was like,
that's why I don't like those contests because it just does that to
most of the time. Because I've got a couple other games that I've done that with. Most of the time though, it's like when I decide I'm going to sit down and make this the game I'm focusing on, I start from the beginning. So I restarted from the beginning and I've been playing through it. And it's basically Xbox's. Well, it's not unique to Xbox. It's on all the platforms, but it's the closest thing on Xbox you're going to get to playing to Breath of the Wild, and that's Immortals: Phoenix Rising. It's from what I've seen of Breath of the Wild, it's very similar in that you have like these dungeons. They're called vaults that are like scattered around the landscape. It's got a little bit of Assassin's Creed in it, given that it is a Ubisoft game, in that you have to scale like a mountain or gigantic tower, and that unveils.
Yeah, did it in Breath of the Wild as well.
Okay. And then once you do, it unveils the map for that region. It's not as crazy as Assassin's Creed where you have to do that like 30 times. There's, I think, 7 regions, so you only have to do it once per region, so like 7 times. But it is helpful because you get your wings pretty early on. So, and once you climb up to the top of those towers or whatever they are, you can fast travel to them again later. So you can get to places easier because you can just jump off and glide to where you need to go.
I mean, that's the same thing that Breath of the Wild did. So
yeah, because they've got the hang glider sort of thing. So I'd have to look. I'm pretty sure Breath of the Wild came out before Immortals: Phoenix Rising.
I think it did, yeah.
But I haven't played Breath of the Wild because I don't have a Switch. But I have been having a lot of fun. I like how bright and colorful it is. It's very vibrant. I like the Greek aesthetic with the, you got like, you're helping the gods like Hera and Aphrodite and Zeus, and you got all the Greek gods, and you have all these sort of mythical creatures like gorgons and minotaurs and harpies and stuff like that. And I've really been enjoying it. So I'd say through the main story, story completion wise, I'm probably about 80% because there are 4 gods that you have to go through each of their quest lines to gather their strength to go and fight the boss. And I've completed all 4 of their quest lines. So now I have to go to like the last region. So I'd probably say I'm like 80% of the way through the story. As for a completion, I still have a decent amount of ways to go because I still have a lot of stuff to do around the world. Because there's lots of puzzle solving, and I like puzzle solving. There is tons of stuff. It is a Ubisoft game, like I said, so there's tons of like busy work, if you want to call it that, across the landscape of things to do. I don't mind it because I like it. I think that it's well done. It's not as egregious as some of the busy work is in like some of the giant, more recent Assassin's Creed games like Odyssey and Valhalla. But I have been enjoying it, just like Breath of the Wild. You have a stamina bar, and you can literally climb anything as long as you have stamina, and you increase your stamina, so you get more, little chunks of stamina on your stamina bar as you, increase your character's abilities. Same with your health. You get stronger weapons, you upgrade your weapons and stuff. It has a great transmog system, so you can equip anything, literally everything that you have in your inventory. For each category, you can have it look like something else in whatever that category is, of like whether it's your sword or your heavy weapons or your helmet or your armor or whatever. You can transmog it to look like any of the other items you have, and still keep the stats of the one that you have. So not a lot of games that I've played at least have a transmog system like that, and that's definitely something that I think more games should do. But I've greatly been enjoying my time with Immortals Phoenix Rising. I have put it on the back burner as of the last few days, but that I didn't. The reason why is because of what I'll get into in a moment here on what we're looking forward to in March, because I didn't start this until March. But yeah, I have been enjoying Immortals Phoenix Rising a lot. It's kind of sad that they've said that there's not going to be a sequel. There are 2 or 3 DLCs that I will be playing after. I'm going to try to get the completion of the base game before going into the DLCs. I think that shouldn't be too difficult, given that it's an open world. There was one achievement marked as missable, and I did already get that one, so I don't think there's any reason why I wouldn't be able to get the base game completion before I start working on the DLCs. And one of the interesting things about the DLCs is there's 3 of them. 2 of them, though, go into different mythologies. So like the whole game is like Greek mythology, like I was saying. One of the DLCs is like Chinese mythology, and I haven't looked at what the other one is, but if I had to guess, I think it's Egyptian mythology. But those DLC, and I think from what I heard when I was listening to some podcasts when the game was new and the DLC was coming out, is that not only do they change which mythology the DLC is about, it actually kind of changes what genre the game is. Like I've heard like one of the DLCs is almost like a twin stick shooter. So I love twin stick shooters. Typically, I don't like it when a game switches genres. Like I think I mentioned in one of our streams earlier when I played through Azura's Wrath last year, where the DLC became a 2D fighter, and I hate fighting games. That was a real pain in the butt. But twin stick shooters, I'm a fan of. So I'm not even sure if the DLC is a twin stick shooter, but I think I remember them saying something about the DLCs change genre a little bit. So I'm looking forward to seeing what those are, and hopefully it doesn't piss me off, and I like whatever they made with the changes to the DLC.
I mean, hey, with Asura's Wrath, they literally had Akuma as in a Capcom game. They needed a Street Fighter reference.
Well,
somewhere.
Akuma, because there's one story DLC in Azura's Wrath, and there's 2 non-story DLCs, and one of them is Ryu, and the other one is Akuma.
Yeah, because Asura is literally Akuma as a god.
Yes, exactly. And as he said it a few minutes ago, But Angry Canadian is saying that he got 196% in Symphony of the Night, so he got he beat it, not just
No, he didn't. He didn't get
he
200%.
didn't get 200%, but he got to the inverted castle is what I meant.
Isn't like 201 point something percent?
I want to say that 212 is the max percent you can get in Symphony of the
Let me
Night.
look that up.
You look that up because I'm curious. It's been, like I said, it's been a very long time. But I'm looking up the DLC on Immortals.
200.6.
200.6. Okay. So it is over 200%. I was pretty sure about that. But yeah, Immortals, one of the DLCs is the Myths of the Eastern Realm, and the other one is the Lost Gods. I don't know. And the achievements don't really give me any hints onto what that DLC is about. But yeah. It is Immortals Phoenix Rising is on Game Pass. I did buy it years ago. I bought the gold version, I think like on a Black Friday sale. So I got the game and all the DLC for super cheap because Ubisoft games go on sale like steep discounts pretty regularly. But the base game is on Game Pass if anyone
Not
wants
as
to
regularly as Sweet Baby Inc. games.
But yeah, if anyone's interested in Immortals Phoenix Rising, it is on Game Pass for the base game, and I recommend it. I've been having a lot of fun with it. I like it.
What do you mean by the map won't blew out for you?
Screw that game. I don't know. I'm assuming he's talking about Symphony of the Night. Maybe he got screwed out of something because it won't let him complete it. That's my guess.
Or maybe he's not going in the right spot.
I kept jumping up and down in a block area to get the blue map tile, and it won't give it to you. I have had that happen in some Metroidvanias where it's like get 100% map completion. It's like I'm in that square and it's not counting as being.
I know there are a couple of squares in Symphony of the Night that are a pain in the butt, like in the upside down castle on the staircase.
I'll have to take your word for it because, like I said, I vaguely remember it. But yeah, so that does it for everything I played in February. So
I think we both finished up what we talked about in February. So
yeah, so what are you planning on working on for March?
Now, once I'm done with Donkey Kong Country 2 on stream, I will be working on the final Devil May Cry I'll be playing on stream, Devil May Cry 5.
God, okay, I was like, I'm
so I know
sure
Kay will be
Devil
happy
May
for
Cry
it.
5.
I know Kay will be happy for it.
She's a fan of that one.
But there is a catch to this one, apparently, because I looked at the trophy, the achievement list last night. I have to get S rank on every difficulty except for Heaven or Hell. So even the difficulty where you die in one hit,
but no one else does.
No one else does. You have to get an S ranking on too.
Oh, that is. So with that one included, is that the highest ratio one, or is
Probably.
DMC4 still higher?
I think this one is. And also, you have to go through the Bloody Palace with every character.
And how many characters?
There are 4 characters after you include Virgil's as DLC.
Oh, fun. When you what are you gonna do? Is that what's coming up after you finish DKC?
Yes. Luckily, though, I think I read about the Bloody Palace mode. I can at least use the super modes. So I have unlimited Devil Trigger.
Okay, gotcha.
So it's not as bad, but it could be worse.
Understandable. Okay.
But getting the S ranking on every level and every difficulty pretty much is going to be a pain.
Yeah. S ranks.
Luckily, I did read that there are a couple of levels where you can choose your character. You only have to get S rank with one character on that level.
Oh, and some characters might be easier than others.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
or you just might gel with the character better.
Yeah, that makes sense too. But okay, yeah, he's saying that he's tried it with all the different forms and it's still not counting the map. That sucks. I hate it when you get run into stupid stuff like that. But okay, yeah, interested. I look forward to hearing your report about DMC5 next month.
Depends on how long. Actually, Donkey Kong Country 2 shouldn't take me that long, even with some of the crazy achievements they have in it. Although, sadly, Donkey Kong Country 2 does have an achievement that's unobtainable when you're playing in hard mode.
Oh, okay.
And it's because you need a DK barrel to do it.
Okay. Do you remember what exactly that one entails?
It pretty much you have to get into a bonus room without using Rambi.
Okay.
So you have to have a DK barrel whenever you're going up through the level. You have to carefully take the DK barrel through the level.
Oh, so you can throw it into the wall since you won't have Rambi to do it for you?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
or an enemy.
Yeah, and you have to avoid the enemies so they don't break the barrel.
Well, you have to. I think you might have to hit an enemy to unlock the bonus room.
Oh, okay, but you have to hit them with the barrel.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
and I think you have to do it with both Kongs or something like that. I can't remember. I have to look it up again.
Okay. All right.
Other than that, I'll probably just be playing a bunch of Game Boy Advance games after this Dynasty Warriors 3 nonsense.
As your palate cleanser.
I need some. It's not like it's a palate cleanser like I needed from Mercenaries 2, but I still need a palate cleanser of just playing the same game over and over again.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes you can play a game that you like and still need a palate cleanser from it. So I get what you mean. Yeah, so what I was referring to a few minutes ago is what I started playing this month because I am panic playing it. It was announced, the latest games that are leaving Game Pass were announced, and one of them is one that I have had on my back burner. Like I say, that's pretty much the only time I start something new right now until I recover my completion percentage is something that I want to play that's about to leave Game Pass, and that is Shredders. So that's a snowboarding game. I love snowboarding. Like not just games, like in real life. That was literally my favorite thing to do in high school. I did a lot of snowboarding through college. I haven't done it as much since due to time and money because it has gotten insanely expensive. But Shredders got announced as leaving on the 15th. So, and it's a pretty short completion. It's like a 10-hour completion. So it's not like one that I was worried about. If most of the games that I've got on my backlog, if they get announced as leaving, because you usually have 2 weeks, I could definitely do them in 2 weeks. And so that's definitely something that I'm not worried about being able to complete before it leaves, unless I get screwed out of an achievement or something. The big issue is if I get like a bunch of games that I want to play all get announced as leaving Game Pass at the same time, which I'm hoping doesn't happen. But I was reading an article today of games that could leave in April, and there's a bunch of them that I want to play. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen. But anyways, I've been playing through Shredders. I have 3 achievements left, and I like the game. My issue with it is the controls are, in my opinion, are pretty terrible. It's basically because, like I was saying earlier, like I love the Tony Hawk games and the controls make perfect sense to me, and I'm really good at the Tony Hawk games. The Instead of using controls that would make sense for a snowboarding game, they went with this weird, like the closest thing I can relate it to is Fight Night Round 3. So I know it's like this is a snowboarding game. How is it similar to a boxing game? So for anyone who's played Fight Night Round 3, it was actually pretty ingenious what they did in how you control it is the types of punches you throw are based on how you move the right stick. Um, so it's almost like doing combos in a fighting game, but like you would like go down and then go round, do a round to do like a swing, or if you just tap it forward as like a jab, and you could. There was all different types of punches depending on like how you did the joystick in that game. This is kind of similar to that, where instead of like in Tony Hawk, where you hit like, obviously it's a little different for snowboarding since the board's attached to your feet. Whereas Tony Hawk, you can do grab tricks with X, and you can do rail
flip tricks,
flip tricks with X, rail tricks with Y.
No, it's flip tricks with no wait, you're talking about
I'm
the
talking about
Xbox controller.
Yeah,
I'm thinking about the
PlayStation.
PlayStation controller. That's
Yeah.
where I played Tony Hawk originally.
Okay.
Because Square and O that are the flip and grab.
Yeah, grab tricks are B, which would be I don't know PlayStation controller, but grabs are B, grinds are Y, and then X is flip tricks, and A is you hold it down and then you release to ollie. Instead of doing something like that would make sense, all your tricks are done through different movements of the right stick. And
that sounds like Skate.
I've never played Skate, so I don't know.
But Skate's trying to be just trying to make it so that the sticks move like you're moving your feet.
So I do know that basically Skate is you can almost like you control each foot with a joystick. It's not quite like that because it's not quite like Fight Night where you have to do like this move does this trick. It's basically in this regard it's similar to Tony Hawk where like before I get to that, the Tony Hawk, like I said, is X, Y, and B for the different tricks, at least on Xbox. In Shredders, you use right bumper or left bumper. So holding up on the right stick and hitting our right bumper does one trick, whereas hitting down and right bumper does a different trick. Same with, you can hold down or left or right or up diagonal or down diagonal and hit left bumper for one trick, or you could hold it in the same direction, hit right bumper for a different trick. So it does open up a lot of different tricks. But the most annoying thing is that not only does it control your tricks, in Tony Hawk, you can use the triggers to rotate one direction or the other. You can't rotate in this game like with so all of your tricks and your rotation are all done through the right stick. So, and even if you have to prepare for each jump as well, so you can't just go up into the air and do a trick and then normally you'd hold like one of the triggers, like in a Tony Hawk game, to spin to get a higher score. But
it's funny. I never use the triggers. I just use the left stick.
Oh, I always use the triggers, so that I could focus on. I like separating the triggers from the joysticks rather than doing everything with the joystick, because having too many things tied to one button is a big annoyance for me, especially like with Gears of War.
So how'd you like Zelda? Tying everything to the A button.
Oh, because it's the contextual button.
Yeah.
I didn't have as much of an issue with it in Zelda because it's a little bit of a slower paced game than like Gears and Mass Effect, because they can be very, very high paced, and when it does something different than what I want it to do, it's very annoying. So it wasn't as big of an issue, but when too many things are tied to one button, it can be a bit of annoyance. But anyways, you can't just go off a jump and then rotate with one of the triggers. What you have to do is you have to hit the right stick or the left stick one direction to twist your body, and then once you go off the jump, then you move the joystick in the other way to start spinning, and then you hold it to spin. But like I said, it also is the same joystick you use for your trick. So you have to start spinning and then quickly move to the joystick in a different direction and then hit one of your bumpers to do a different grab. And some of the requirements for some of these challenges you have to do is you have to do like a 1080 doing a certain grab. And there's not even enough time to start to get in the air, start your spin, do the grab, and then spin enough times. And so it's like, why is all the stuff tied to the right stick? Why can't you do this stuff with more buttons? Because some of the buttons aren't even used. So that's my biggest
complaint. That's what they weren't going for. They're going for the skate style.
Yeah. And yeah, so that's my.
And my brother who used to skate a lot, he loved the skate.
Skate is a big. I know Skate is a big franchise. Everyone loves that and wants it to be revived. I haven't played it, but yeah, that's my biggest issue with the game is everything being tied to the right stick. It should have been spread out to more buttons, and that's really annoying. But the game itself, if it wasn't for the controls, I would like it a lot better. So, but yeah, I pretty much have everything done already. I just, like I said, I think I have 3 achievements left, and 2 of them are collectibles. For one is there's little like icons that are floating around the world. It's one big giant open mountain range essentially, but there's different sections so you can quickly like teleport to the ones that you need to. But so it's almost like an open world snowboarding game, which is kind of cool. And there's different regions. There's like the urban region. There's like the ski lift area. There's like the backcountry. There's, there's part where there's just a giant, open mountain where there's no ski lifts. So that's cool. But there's little icons floating around all over the world, and so I'm working on collecting all of those. And then there's certain gaps, just like Tony Hawk, where you have to clear this gap from one point to another, and you have to get all of those. They're not difficult. I just haven't gone through and gotten them all yet. And then I think there's one other achievement. I forget what it is, but I'll probably be finishing that up this weekend.
Gotcha.
So, anything else that you're planning on working on for March? Because I got a couple other things.
Just some. I'll probably pick up some random GBA games. I don't know which ones I'll pick up. Maybe the sequel. Maybe the sequel is Season of Ice, which is Season of Flame.
Okay, I was gonna say, let me guess, Season of Fire, but Season of Flame. Okay.
And it's pretty much the same thing.
So okay. Then the other things, yeah. So I'm working on shredders. I should probably be able to get that completed this weekend, and then I'll probably be going. Maybe I don't know. I'm going to be. I'm planning on hoping to finish Immortals: Phoenix Rising before the end of the month. I'm just not sure if I'm going to go right to it after I finish shredders, because due to the goals, the True Achievement monthly goals, I've already got one of them. I've gotten a gold on one of them because I'm either gold or nothing when it comes to the monthly goals that they put out. The other two I haven't started yet. One is for getting a certain number of achievements or something in games or achievements that have the number 3 in them. So I'm probably going to be trying to use Gears of War 3 for getting that fulfilled. So I'll probably be playing some Gears of War 3 or Witcher 3. I might use as well for getting some of those achievements.
Hey, if you want, we could try doing co-op streams for the horde mode.
Okay, yeah, we can do that.
Because I got everything unlocked, and I can get you through Insane on easily. Because I have the cheat unlocked for that.
Okay. Yeah, that'd
pretty
be
much
great.
pretty much what that cheat does is it makes it so that whenever you do an perfect reload, it increases the amount of damage you do like 100 times.
Oh wow.
So
yeah, because I think by default the active reload, at least on Gears 1, I think it was only like 6%. So I mean it's better, but it's not a lot. So if there's a
like even the bosses die like only a couple of shots from the Lancer.
That's awesome. So yeah, I'd definitely be up for that. I don't think I need a whole lot. But yeah, if you want to do some Gears 3, I'm definitely down for that.
There's a lot of horde mode achievements for that. So
okay.
And weirdly, that's one of those games that you can have 5 people co-op. So
yeah, and I definitely don't want to do horde mode solo because I don't think it scales to the number of people. It's just as same number of enemies with one person as it is with 5.
But I was always fine with doing it solo because when you're soloing it, you get all the money, and that means you get to control what gets put on the map.
Okay.
Whenever you do it that way.
If we play in co-op, is the money pool shared, or do we each have our own?
It's not shared.
Can I give you my money, or?
Yeah, you can. I think you can give money to your teammates too.
Well, I guess it wouldn't really matter. I would just, since you're the expert, you just tell me what to do with my money, and I'll go spend it however you want.
Pretty much just make barricades, and that's about it. Because I can make the best silverback, even though we'll be using the active reload thing.
Okay, cool.
But whenever you play it normally, you want the silverback fully upgraded, which is the mech.
Cool. Yeah. So okay, yeah, yeah. I just don't want to play it solo, and I'm not very. I haven't played basically any of the Horde in Gears 3. I played a little bit in Gears 2.
There's also a second Horde mode in that game as well called
the Beast mode. Yeah, I know of that.
I actually got so good at that. I could do all 12 waves solo.
Okay. Well, I would be happy to play that with you so you can help carry me through that. So maybe we'll do that. And then lastly, the other challenge or goal for the month of March is get a certain amount of gamer score in games with the adventure genre, which there's not a lot of them because a lot of games are action adventure, but this is specifically games that are adventure, not action adventure, and there's not a lot of them. So
okay, go find a Monkey Island game.
I'd have to go and look at what genre Monkey Island even is. It probably has it, but I did already beat the one that I was planning on playing a long time ago. But the one that I'm planning on playing, because I've started it as part of my 2019 dive, and I just haven't gone back to actually playing it, is one of the Sherlock Holmes games, counts as an adventure game. So I'll probably be playing. It's not a terribly long game, so I'll probably just go through the whole thing and complete it this month. But I'm at least going to get enough in it to get whatever the requirement is. I think it's 600 gamer score in order to get the gold on the monthly challenge, but I'll at least get that much, if not just go through and complete the game.
Now, I hope to see you get to over 700K by the end of this month.
Oh, that's right. So I'm at like 698?
698 and a half.
Yeah, 698.5. So I need just under 2,500 more gamer score to hit 700,000.
No, you need 15, just under 1,500.
1,500. Sorry, thank you. Yeah, I just need just under 1,500 to hit 700,000.
So a game and a half.
Let's see here. I've still got 200 more gamer score in shredders. Since I've got it pulled up here, yeah, I've still got 3 achievements left. 2 of them are the 2 collectibles. Oh, and one of them is for unlocking all the gear in the game. I don't even know what that requires, but I'm already at 77%. So I should be pretty close.
Just
to
grinding it out at that point.
Yeah, and one of the other ones, the most grindy one in the achievement is really dumb, is just for calling the snowmobile 500 times, which I'm only at 34%, and I only have 2 other achievements besides that one left. So
That's
that
reminded me of 2 achievements that I did. One in Warframe, which is do 1,000 kilometers on the K drive, which is the hoverboard, and the other one is from 7 Days to Die. Go drive a long distance with the vehicle.
Yeah. So it's like, why do you
both
put
of those are just too long for they should be.
Yeah, like you could easily get through the game doing like I'm already 34% because anytime I do use it, I use it like 3 or 4 times rather than just using it once to get to where I need to go. Because that is an achievement. So if I wasn't doing that, I'd probably only be at 10% by the time I finish the game. And then I still have to go another 450 times. It's so dumb why they put this achievement. It's completely, you can do everything else in the game and still have this achievement left at 5% essentially.
It's always fun when they have one achievement that's like that.
Fortunately, it's pretty easy. You can just sit there and just do it over and over, but it's literally pointless, mindless grinding. But that'll definitely, I'm pretty sure that's going to be my last one, but that's super easy, just dumb. But anyways, I got 200 gamer score left in shredders, and I've still got over 1,000 left in Immortals Phoenix Rising because it's got 1845 and I'm currently at 570. So I've got about 1,300 more there. Plus my Sherlock Holmes game. Let's see here. Sherlock.
If you finish all 3 of those games, you will actually go over 7,000 easy.
Yeah, 700. So on the Sherlock Holmes game I'm planning on playing, I've got 250 out of 1,000, so that's another 750 to go on that one. So yeah, if I do those, that'll definitely put me over 700,000 for the end of the month. So, and I may sprinkle a little bit more Dead Cells here and there. But yeah, so I don't know if I'm going to go to Sherlock Holmes right after Shredders or whether I'm going to go back to Immortals, but we'll see. But I'm hoping to get both of those knocked out here before the end of March. And that about does it. So, anything else that you want to mention before we wrap it up here?
One thing I'd like to mention, apparently there is a guy that passed me on the completing Dynasty Warriors 3 over the past week on Retro Achievements. He's apparently ranked number 4 on the entire site.
Oh.
He's completed 1,375 games there.
Jeez. That's nuts.
And some of these games are like the Final Fantasy games.
Yeah.
And also Dynasty Warriors. So he's not just playing the games that takes him like an hour.
Ones. Yeah, because still completing 1,300 games on Xbox is still impressive, but that's way easier because there's so many games that are basically gamer score for sale. You don't really have that with retro achievements. A lot of these achievement sets are really difficult. So that is very impressive.
There are some prototypes and homebrew stuff that have easy achievements as well.
Oh, okay. I haven't looked into any of those.
And also there's unlicensed, unreleased and stuff like that.
Depending
on who created the set, some of them are actually pretty easy.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen any of those, but from everything that I've seen, man, even some of the games that I thought would be easy still look pretty difficult.
Yeah.
So, are you gonna take him back over?
No, I'm nowhere near to him.
Well, not overall, just in the Dynasty Warriors.
Oh, I won't be able to overtake him because he's already beat it.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant completion, in Dynasty Warriors as a whole, the franchise.
Nah.
No, okay.
And I think there's only there's only 2 other Dynasty Warriors sets right now, so.
Oh, okay.
No, wait, there's 3 actually. I just never played Strike Force.
Okay, so there's not all the Dynasty Warriors games have achievement sets on retro.
Yeah, I think currently the PlayStation 1 version does. I need to play that. Portable, the first one on the PlayStation Portable, I did do that one. That was the first completion on that one. Nice. Dynasty Warriors 3 I'm currently working on. Then there's 5 with the Extreme Legends expansion attached to it. I think the reason why the guy who did 3 separated 3 Extreme Legends was because there's a mechanic in Extreme Legends that can make the set easier in 3.
Okay.
Because in Extreme Legends they allowed you to actually bring another playable character as your bodyguard, and they can be way more powerful than the bodyguards you just level up on your own.
Nice.
So because of that, he was like, for that mechanic, it's gonna make it too easy for some of this stuff. So, and then of course, like I said, 5, and then Strike Force, and then they also added Samurai Warriors, Extreme Legends, and it seems like Extreme Legends is separate from the original game because I think there's difference. What that one actually does a lot of changes from the main game as well. That was back whenever they actually put some changes into the expansions, other than just adding content. Nowadays, they just add more content.
Gotcha.
Okay. Because if they just want to make changes, they can just do an update.
Right. All right. Well, I think that will do it for this episode of Achievement Chasers. I mean, obviously we've been talking about it, so we know that what you've got planned. When is that planned on what you got coming up?
I will be continuing my Donkey Kong Country 2 run on tomorrow night at 7:00 Eastern time. So on my channel over on Rumble.
Okay, so I'm
Rumble, Odyssey, and Kick.
I'm hoping it works because I set up some Stream Elements bot commands and I tried it on my roulette stream last night. It didn't work. I changed some settings, so I'm hoping it works. So I'm gonna see if it works. But if it doesn't, I'll drop the link. But yeah, if you're not sub to Dude on Rumble, go check him out. This guy is a mad achievement hunter that puts me to shame.
Well, my numbers don't look like it, but I think that ratio does.
Yes, yeah. I've got higher numbers, but he's got better numbers, if that makes sense.
Let's just say his Neo's is only a 1.8. Yeah. Mine, and he does have 87%, which I think is higher than me. I have like 81%, but my true achievement ratio is 2.28.
That's very impressive. That's playing some difficult stuff. So I always mad props to you for that. I'm not a fan. Can I never find what I'm looking for on Rumble?
So I take it didn't do it.
It did not do it. I don't know what the heck the deal is with these Stream Elements commands. It's like, hey, just put in what you want to call it and hit save, and then it'll work. And it hasn't worked.
I just realized after looking at my true achievements, I completed Jump Force in 69 hours.
Nice. So I just dropped the link to your Rumble channel in the chat, but I'm almost positive I preloaded it in the stream description. So if you're watching it after the fact, you can see it there.
The one that I do live streams on it has an _live on it.
Oh,
but that's like the combo channel with how Rumble works, because you can have multiple channels underneath the user. I think that's the user. That's not the channel.
Rumble still confuses me.
I mean, I actually kind of like that idea because it allows you to make multiple channels for a single user. So, like, if you're doing some like Geeks and Gamers where they have sports wars and all that, it makes it a bit easier for them.
So you don't have to have it under different account. I guess that makes sense. I just don't understand it all
like
yet.
The idea, I see what they're doing with the idea, but I think it does confuse some users.
So, all right, because though I do see this other one, but it's like C2597040. It's like, I don't know if that's right, but
_live.
Yeah, I'm not seeing that one. So I'll update it on the stream description. So go check out Dude on Rumble. I'll fix it after the fact.
Hold on, let me see if I can do it. I can send it to you.
Okay, yeah. If you have it, you can drop it in the chat, and then I'll update the stream description afterwards. But yeah, so for me, next up, let me pull up my calendar here.
Oh yeah, that's the one. The C thing. Yeah.
Oh, that is the right one
with the C2597040.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm dropping.
That's where the live channel is.
Let's see. I think that's the one I actually put in the stream description. Yes, it is. So I just dropped that one in the chat as well. But that is the one I already preloaded into the stream description, so I don't have to go and fix anything after the fact.
Yeah, that's the channel. Of course, the other one that you posted was the user.
So, Gotcha.
I think there's a way to get to the channel from the user though.
I would hope so. Anyways, so for me, next up tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Pacific. That's will be afternoon for pretty much everyone else since all the time zones are ahead of me. We'll be returning for Party Chat episode 17, and I've got guest host is going to be Metal Shred Freak from RNG Gaming Podcast, and then. I'll probably be on Goes Knows Where Does Nothing tomorrow night. It sounds like we're going to be ranking chip flavors, so that could be fun. And then on Sunday around noon Pacific, unless DJ has to change the time, I will be on DJ Axis's channel and helping coach him through Mega Man X3. So I played through Mega Man X3, like I said, at the end of January, and he was in my ear, and so I could help give him tips and prepare him for it. But now he's going to be playing through it. I'm going to be in his ear, still coaching him, since Mega Man X3 is my favorite of the Mega Man games, and the one that DJ is least familiar with. So I'll be helping guide him through that, and as long as that time still works for him. So that is what I got going on for the rest of the weekend. So with that, everyone have a great weekend. Thank you, everyone who showed up in chat. Angry Canadian, Insidious Bliss, Paul Hadouken, JT, Sparta Chris, Metastep. Good to see you guys, as always. Tim's Talk. You guys have a great weekend. We will talk to you later. And in the meantime, game on.